Hello everyone, this is Oorvi Gupta and today I'll be sharing my trip plan with you guys. So I've planned a trip to Goa because, well, it's the perfect combination of sea, sand and surf. And the number of people in this trip would be 3, which includes me and 2 of my best friends. Well, because I guess it's like the dream of every person of my age to go to Goa at least once in their lives with their friends, and I hope that someday I would be able to implement on this plan because zindagi na milegi dobara. Okay, so let's begin. Now I've already told you about the number of people who would be traveling, like it includes 3, and the total duration of this trip would be for 7 days, which includes 1.5 days for reaching there and 1.5 days for coming back too, because the transportation that I've chosen is by train. I think that train is the best option right now because, like, obviously it is comparatively cheaper than flights, and I know it might take a bit longer to reach there, but if you're traveling with your friends it would be a really fun trip, and I find trains very fascinating. I mean, there's so much of hustle bustle over there and it's overall really fun. Plus I live in Delhi, so the railway station that I'd be taking the train from would be the Hazrat Nizamuddin station in New Delhi, and from there I can take this Goa Sampark Kranti Express. It takes about 33 hours 25 minutes to reach there, so as I said, 1.5 days to reach over there. And for a third AC, the ticket per person would be rupees 725. So the total cost of going there and coming back would add up to 4,350 rupees. Now that is one side. And second would be the accommodation. Now for accommodation I refer to the site Trivago because it is like a really trusted site, and whenever even when my family plans any sort of trips, we refer to that site because it offers a lot of reliable and really good options. So one of the options that I found over there was this Golden Tulip Goa. It's a 4-star hotel and it's really good. Like, it offers you free Wi-Fi, spa, pool, gym, it has AC, parking, and overall it's really good, and the price for per night is 4,793. So for our trip is for 3 days 4 nights. So for 4 nights the total cost would be 19,172, and I guess if there are 3 people traveling to the trip, 1 room would be enough for all of us. And then we come to the travel, like how would we would be traveling in the city. So Goa, when we travel to Goa, like it is a really popular option to hire scooters over there, and if you're hiring an Activa, so it would cost you about rupees 300 to 350 per day, and for 3 people I guess 2 Activas would be suitable. So overall, if we're traveling for 3 days, then the total cost would add up to rupees 2,100. So that's your traveling cost. Next we'll come to food. So breakfast is included in the hotel cost, like it's complimentary, so we don't have to worry about that. And I think that we should we should have a heavy breakfast because we would be having a long day ahead of us, and we don't really want to spend any extra money on the food. Like for lunch and dinner, we can probably skip on lunch and survive on street food only, because street food in Goa is quite cheap. I mean, if now even if you want this for dinner, you could have a veg thali. Now, like, all of my friends are vegetarians and obviously we won't consume any alcohol, so that is just for the thali only. So popular places are Hotel Plantain Leaf. Like, it offers you a veg thali at around rupees 150 to 200. So if I consider rupees 150 for all 3 of us, the total cost would be 450, and for 3 days it would be rupees 1350. And apart from that, if you also add the cost of the street food and all the drinks and all that we would be consuming, so total cost for the food would also add up to about rupees 3,000. That's it. Then we would come to the water sports. Water sports is like a really important part. If you're going to Goa, you can't miss out on any sports. At least one though you should do, and if you have a budget of 50,000, we can afford to do at least 2 water sports. So popular beaches for exploring or experiencing these water sports would be the Anjana Beach, Kalingut Beach, and this Baga Beach. So I planned that we could do scuba diving because I've always wanted to do scuba diving, and in Goa there is a lot of variety of marine animals, and the best part is you don't even know it's not important for you to know how to swim for scuba diving. But it's kind of costly, like it would cost about 1,700 per person, but if you're doing it for the first time, I bet it would be worth it. So the total cost for 3 people would be 5,100, right? and a good place for doing the scuba diving would be Grand Islands. Second water sport would be parasailing. Now parasailing is comparatively cheaper. It costs you about rupees 850 per person, so the total cost would be 2550. In parasailing, what they do is exactly they would lift you off a boat and then you'll shoot up into the sky, and they also do this thing where they let you down and you're dipped into the water and then again you rise up in the sky. So I guess it would be quite exhilarating experience. Then next we come to shopping. If you want to shop in Goa, there are several markets which are popular, like you can buy cheap stuff there if you want to buy any souvenirs for your family or anything of that sort. So one market is the flea market at Anjana Beach. This market is open on Wednesdays, and it's great if you want to buy clothes, home decor, jewelry, and there are other food stalls and other entertainment shops too. Second would be the night market at Arpora. Now this market offers you food stalls, clothes, and there are other sort of knick-knack vendors, and these night markets are like bustling with tourists. And third would be the Tibetan market on Baga Road. This market is perfect if you want to buy any jewelry for men and women both, but you have to make sure that your bargaining skills are like top notch. Then we come to for the shopping, your total cost would be approx 10,000, considering all three of you buy that stuff. So at the end, if I add up all of these costs, our total cost of the trip would come out to be rupees 46,272. So we see that still saves us around 3,500 rupees, and this money can be spent on all that commutation from your home to the railway station if you're taking a cab, and then from going to that Goa railway station to your hotel, which is in Candolim, Goa. So overall your trip would be like summed up in 50,000 rupees. Also, I had planned an itinerary, like on first day we would be going to these beaches for performing the water sports. The second day I have reserved for traveling to Old Goa. Like it is preferred. There were a lot of reviews about Old Goa, like it is a wonderful place and you need to go there if you're going to Goa. It has like several monuments and other architectural beauties. If you're an architecture and history enthusiast, I bet you want to go there. There are some places like the Basilica of Bom Jesus. It's a church. Then second would be the Rice Magos Fort. It shows you the Portuguese fort architecture. Third would be the Fountain House. This place has like winding streets which is lined up with colorful houses, so it has a really cute and vibrant vibe. Fourth would be the ruins of Saint Augustine. And on the third day you can keep it for shopping, like where you're buying souvenirs and all, and then fourth day would be returning. So you see that our trip sums up in this, like you've got 3 days with you and 4 nights, because the day when you would be reaching Goa, that day you would be still having half day left with you. So the good thing is that the hotel that I decided on, that is the Golden Tulip Goa, it is just 800 meters away from the famous Candolim beach. So you could enjoy that half day on a beach, because obviously if you're going to Goa, it's all about going on the beaches, right? So earlier my budget was rupees 50,000 and now my budget is 25,000. So how would I cut my costs? Now first of all, destination would be same, number of people would be same, even the transportation would be the same, because I find that it is the best option available. That is 725 per person going by third AC, and for 3 people the ticket would be 2175. So the total cost to going to Goa and coming back would be rupees 4,350. Now coming to accommodation, we can cut down on that a bit. Instead of going to a 4-star hotel as we were going earlier, we can now choose a 3-star hotel. One of the hotels that I found to be good was the Swati Hotel at Arambol, Goa. It has a tariff of about 1,511 per night. So if you're staying for 4 nights, the total cost would be rupees 6,044. Again, you've got 1 room for 3 people. And this is also good because it offers you free Wi-Fi, spa, gym, AC, parking. I mean, now you won't be having the pool, but you can go to beaches for that. What are there for? Then for traveling, instead of hiring the scooters, we can also choose bus ride. That is also a very good option, because in Goa, the bus tickets are quite cheap. Like if you want a short ride, it would cost you about rupees 10. And if you want to travel across half the state, then also it is about rupees 40. So if I consider for every day, for 3 people, the total cost of these bus tickets would be approximately 500. Then for food, now the 3-star hotel won't be offering you the complimentary breakfast, so you have to buy the breakfast also on your own. So I would keep the cost of food the same, that is 3,000. Earlier also it was 3,000, but now we would have to cut down a bit, like we can, run a low on the street food, and probably we can buy drinks instead of that, and I guess we would be having the breakfast and dinner, so that would be more than enough. Then we have the water sports. As I told you earlier also, scuba diving was kind of expensive, so we can cut down on that. We can go only for parasailing. So the total cost of parasailing was coming out to be 2,550. So that is there. And for souvenir shopping, as I told you, the different markets that we can go to, total cost for souvenir shopping can be 6,000 instead of 10,000. So we can save some money over there. Now if I add on all these costs, the total money that we would be spending on this trip would be 22,444. So we see that still we have some money which we would be spending on, again, that commutation from our homes to the railway stations, and from there to the hotel, like all those small expenses. So our trip can be summed up in 25,000 rupees too.